Your budgie is sitting near you, on your shoulder, your hand, or just beside you on the couch. The room is quiet, and slowly you notice its eyes getting heavy. The small head begins to dip. The feathers settle gently around its body, and then, without any fuss, it falls asleep. Most owners smile and think, it's tired, it's warm there, it's just comfortable, and that feels like enough of an answer. But here is what those owners don't realize. Your budgie is a prey animal. Its nervous system was built over millions of years of evolution to stay alert. In the wild, a sleeping budgie is a vulnerable budgie. Predators don't wait. And yet, here is your budgie, closing its eyes beside a creature 40 times its size. That is not habit. That is not coincidence. That is a choice. And it may be one of the most significant things your budgie has ever done around you. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what that choice means, and you will never look at that quiet moment the same way again. To understand what your budgie is doing when it sleeps near you, you first have to understand what sleep means for an animal like a budgie. Budgies are prey animals. That is not just a biological label, it shapes every instinct they carry. In the wild, they sleep in flocks, perched high in trees, where height gives them distance from ground predators and numbers give them more eyes on the surrounding darkness. Even then, birds on the edge of the flock sleep with one hemisphere of the brain still active, one eye open, still scanning, while the birds deeper in the center can rest more fully. Sleep, for a budgie, is a calculated risk managed by position, height, and company. When a budgie is not certain it is safe, it does not fully switch off. It rests in a lighter, more guarded state, one part of the brain always running quietly in the background, ready to fire an alarm. This is not a choice the budgie consciously makes. It is simply what its nervous system does when the environment has not yet been fully cleared. Full, deep sleep, both eyes closed, both halves of the brain at rest, only happens when the budgie has decided, on some level, that the threat level around it is low enough to stop watching. That is a very high bar for a prey animal to reach. So when your budgie falls into a still, quiet sleep near you, not guarded, not half alert, but genuinely settled, it is not because it forgot it was a prey animal. It is because something about your presence cleared that internal threshold. You became part of what made the environment safe enough to stop watching. That is worth sitting with for a moment. Budgies are social animals. In the wild, they are almost never alone. And the flock is not just company. The flock is safety. Budgies sleep near their flock members because proximity to trusted others is one of the few things that can lower the constant background tension of being a small bird in a world full of things that want to eat you. When a pet budgie sleeps near its owner, something similar may be happening. You have, over time, become part of what the budgie reads as safe. Not because you trained it to feel that way, and not because it decided you were harmless in a single moment, but because you were consistently present, consistently non-threatening, and consistently part of its daily world until its nervous system began to register you differently. Researchers who study avian sleep note that budgies in safe, familiar environments, surrounded by trusted flock members, are far more likely to shift into full bilateral sleep than budgies in unfamiliar or unpredictable settings. The presence of trusted others is one of the environmental signals that tells a budgie's brain it can lower its guard. You became one of those signals. That is not a small thing. It means your budgie's nervous system, the same system that exists to keep it alive, has categorized you not as a threat, not as an unknown, but as something closer to a flock member, someone it can rest beside. Once you understand what sleep means for a budgie, you start to see the body language differently. A genuinely comfortable, resting budgie has a specific look. One foot is raised, tucked up close to the body. The head may be turned and tucked lightly into the feathers at the back. The body is relaxed, not puffed dramatically, just softly settled. The feathers may be very slightly lifted, which is simply the bird conserving warmth. The grip on the perch or on your hand or your shoulder is loose and easy, not tight and tense. Just before falling fully asleep, many budgies will grind their beak softly. It is a small, quiet sound. If you have heard it, you probably found it sweet without quite knowing why. Avian behaviorists describe beak grinding as a full-body relaxation signal, the budgie moving out of alertness and into genuine rest. The moment you hear it, your budgie has decided it does not need to stay on watch. Contrast this with a budgie that is tense but still. A bird that is uneasy may sit very still, but its body will be upright rather than settled. Its grip will be firm. Its eyes, even if half closed, will continue to track movement. It may shift its weight frequently. Stillness alone does not mean comfort. The body has to actually release. Learning to read the difference matters, not to worry more, but to appreciate more clearly when you are being given something real. There is one more thing that caring owners should be able to recognize, and it fits here naturally. Not every sleeping budgie is a comfortable budgie. A budgie that is resting in genuine trust looks soft and settled. A budgie that is unwell often looks different, and the difference, once you know it, is not easy to miss. A sick budgie tends to be puffed significantly, not just slightly. Its body will feel hunched rather than relaxed. It may sleep in unusual places, on the floor of the cage, or pressed into a corner rather than on a high perch. It may sleep for long stretches during the day without the normal periods of alert, active behavior in between. If you see those signs, persistent puffing, unusual position, lethargy that continues even when you are present and the environment is calm, that is worth paying attention to. Veterinary guidance is clear that sustained fluffing combined with low energy in a budgie is frequently a signal of illness, not comfort. This is not meant to alarm you. It is meant to give you the full picture, so that when you see genuine comfortable sleep, you know it, and when something looks different, you know that too. Understanding this changes how you show up in the moment. When your budgie is settling into sleep near you, the most important thing you can do is almost nothing. Stay still. Keep your movements slow and predictable. Do not try to reposition it, show it off, or wake it up to interact. The trust is happening right now, in this quiet, and the way you respond to it is part of what either deepens it or quietly chips away at it. Budgies also need a consistent sleep environment to maintain the sense of safety that allows them to rest fully. Roughly 10 to 12 hours of dark, quiet rest each night gives their nervous system the recovery it needs. Unpredictable noise, sudden light changes, or disruptions during their natural sleep window can erode that settled feeling over time, not dramatically, but gradually. And if your budgie regularly sleeps near you, but one day begins pulling away, choosing corners, becoming quieter, putting distance between itself and you, pay attention to that. It is not mood. Budgies are creatures of consistent routine. A significant change in where and how they rest is often their only way of telling you that something in their environment has shifted. Sometimes it is a sound they found frightening. Sometimes it is a change in routine they have not yet adjusted to. Occasionally, it is health-related. The point is, notice it. Your budgie chose to sleep near you. If that changes, it is telling you something. There is something that stays with you when you really understand this. Your budgie is not a large animal. It does not have the size or the strength to protect itself from much. Its entire survival strategy, built across millions of years, depends on staying alert, staying in the flock, and never fully letting its guard down unless the conditions are right. And yet it closes its eyes beside you. It is not doing this because it has forgotten what it is. It is doing this because somewhere in the calculation that its nervous system runs constantly, you came back as safe. You became the condition that made rest possible. That is not cuteness. That is not habit. That is a small animal with a nervous system wired for survival, making a quiet daily decision that you are worth trusting with its most vulnerable moment. You did not force that. You cannot fake it. It grew because of how you showed up, day after day, in a way that felt consistent and calm and non-threatening to a creature that notices everything. So the next time your Budgie's eyes grow heavy beside you, the next time you hear that soft beak grinding, see that small foot tuck up, feel that tiny weight settle against you, let it mean what it actually means. You were chosen. Not by accident, not by default. By a small bird that had every biological reason to stay guarded and decided with you that it did not have to. That is worth protecting. When did you first realize your Budgie had chosen you? Share that moment in the comments, because sometimes the smallest things are the ones that matter most.